Everybody's going to give a snack.
Let's go, Jack.
Future Hall of Famer.
Hey, get going, Jack.
Okay, I'm Jack Ford, the historian, researcher. So if there's any mistakes, blame it on Roger Harvest. We're glad to be here today. We want everyone to stand. We want to honor our Lord. The Bible says to give honor unto whom honor is due. And we're going to do that by honoring these sports legends of Martin County. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for allowing us to be here. We pray you'll bless this time together, Lord, and thank you for allowing us to honor these people who have been some of a very long time without having any recognition for all they've meant to this county and to our heritage and our history. Lord, we just pray you'll bless everyone here today. And we pray and ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. We want to begin by letting you hear from our Hall of Fame president.
We got front row seats.
I want to welcome everybody here to this year's event. Appreciate everybody. Turnout's awesome. We got a big friendship amongst each other. There's people here, there's teammates here that I haven't seen in a long time, and I just really appreciate everybody that's came out. On behalf of the Martin County All Sports Hall of Fame, I'd like to welcome everybody to the third installment of their Hall of Fame class. There's a few people that I'd like to thank. First of all, I'd like to thank our sponsors. If it wasn't for our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to put this on. And we've got some flyers out in the front. If anybody would like to donate to us, we're nonprofit, and we really appreciate it. These banquets are pretty expensive, and we want to continue as the year goes on. I'd also like to thank the Roy F. Collier Community Center for allowing us to be use their facility for this event. And if you get time on the second floor, we have a wonderful exhibits up there, past players. And if you get time, go up and check it out. It's a wonderful looking exhibit. I'd also like to thank the Mountain Citizen newspaper for their continuous coverage in helping us get the word out about this banquet. We found out today that through the newspaper, we had a family in Florida that had no idea that this was being put on, but through the newspaper they found out, and they came up here today to celebrate with us. So we really appreciate the Mountain Citizen newspaper. Also, I'd like to thank Jared Oxford for helping set up our big screen here and do our photos for us. He's been a really big help from Washington, D.C. Also, I'd like to thank the board. We have the best board of any board in the state of Kentucky. I'm thankful for them. Without them, this couldn't be possible. They're very knowledgeable. They do the research. We have a very strenuous criteria that we have here, and we just really appreciate it. I want to go ahead and announce our board. First off, I've got Jack Ward. He's a researcher. Got Coach Roger Harless, Mr. A.J. Haney, who's in the back. We also have Bilbo Davis, who's not able to be here. Everett Horn Jr., who's been under the weather. He's on our board also, but he's not able to be here tonight. And I think I got it right. But anyway, without the board, none of this would be possible. And it's just a pleasure for me personally to be around these guys. And lastly, I want to thank the community. This is probably our 8th year doing this. And ever since day one, this community has accepted this idea. We're about 94 years in the making, so that's why we've had to go back. We've had some pretty large classes that end up, when you're 94 years back, there's a large history, especially in Martin County, of athletes. I just want to say personally, I take pride in this county and its athletics. I travel across the state. I have a business in Ashland, so I get to talk to a lot of people in Ohio and in West Virginia. And I've said it all along, and I'll continue saying it. Per capita, this county has more athletes, more All-State, more national champions than any county in the state of Kentucky, by far. And I'm a firm believer that in order to understand where you're at now, and our high school's been very successful, and I tell you, we're so proud of Martin County High School. You have to understand where you've been. And I think, once you understand where we're at, this started in 1927 with a guy named Louise, and believe it or not, he coached the girls team. And from 1927 on, we've had guys like Sheldon Park, Johnny Weems. I could go on and on and on. Coach Harvey. I could go on and on. As far as coaches in this county. So, you guys are successful, and I really, it's an honor for us to be here. And lastly, I'm just going to say, here today, amongst us, we've got pro contracts, we've got national champions, we've got All-State players, we've got an All-American. We've got guys that's played in the state tournament, and the list goes on and on and on. We have inducted just right around 100 people, and it's just amazing to me that we're just getting started. And this is a process, and it's going to be a continuing process, but, I'm just so thankful for the community support in this, and, you guys leave a legacy. And, it's our job and my job to make sure that the legacy continues, for our generations to come. And like I said, I just really appreciate everybody coming out. Enjoy the day. This is a celebration of you. And I have a lot of heroes out there, and I'm going to try to meet every single one of you. But I really appreciate you guys coming today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dwayne. At this time, we want to introduce our speaker today. Our county judge couldn't be here, so we went out and got somebody much better. We got basketball royalty. Gary Step is here. His brothers, Joe Allen and Jimmy, are in our Hall of Fame. And of course, Irvin Step needs no introduction. He's in every Hall of Fame imaginable. And we're inducting his father, Joe Step, today. So we're honored to have Gary, who's coached, he's played, he's at Alice Lloyd, and doing a great job there. His whole family is just, we're so proud of them and the legacy that they've given to Martin County High School sports and basketball. And they've been great ambassadors for Martin County with their work at Alice Lloyd, and what a job they've done there. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Step.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here today. Walking in the parking lot, I ran into Teddy Duncan, a friend I haven't seen in, I don't think since 1984. Greeted at the table by Mary Lou Payne. Mary Lou was a co-worker of mine when I was at INS Middle School. I taught there 14 years. Mary may hate me saying this, but you were like a mother figure to me then. Maybe I should say you were more like a big sister figure to me then. But walking in, Robbie Smith, who was one of my absolute best friends at Warfield Middle School, and just the memories that are already flooding back of what this county and this community means to me and my family. So when I say it's an honor for me to be here, I'm not exaggerating at all. It is truly an honor to appear before you and see so many people that mean so much to my family. And on behalf of my family, I thank you for that. When I was asked to speak today, I was thinking, what would I say? And so many people have said to me what the Step family means to basketball in Kentucky. And the name of Step is probably one of the most well-known names. That's not for me to decide. But I know what the facts are. I know what the numbers are. And I'm going to do something today I've never done ever in my life. I'm actually going to give a talk and tell you a little bit about my family background. This is something I've never done before. But I get asked so many questions so often that I want to tell a little bit of background because I'm so proud of what my family has been able to accomplish. I've traveled around the state. I mean, not just in Eastern Kentucky, up to Lexington, Louisville, doctor's appointments or stopping at various appointments or in stores. And to this day, still periodically, if I'm somewhere and I have to give my name, somebody would invariably look at me and say, "Are you Ken, the step boys? Do you know the Steps play basketball?" And it usually leads to a conversation. That happens more often than I would like to think. And it's just amazing to me because when I go back to high school, how long it's been since we graduated, but how people remember this just amazes me still to this day, even though I'm much older. The history of the Step family in basketball starts here. It starts in Martin County. My father, Joseph Step, grew up in Martin County on the Warfield side of the hill. His parents owned the head of the holler of Collins Creek. My brother Irvin today actually lives at the home place. He has his house there on the property that was in my family. And my dad grew up rough. He was one of 11 kids who died in infancy. He was the oldest boy, and they didn't have much money. Small 3-room house, no indoor plumbing, outhouse with a bathroom. They had to go to a well to get water. He grew up having to work hard. It was a hillside farm, so it wasn't, you all know that. It's not level planting, level work around here. And my grandpa was gone a lot, working and I was going to work to make money. My grandfather didn't have much of an education. He had to quit school at a very, very young age because he had to work to help his parents support his siblings. So he didn't have much of an education. He was a preacher. He worked hard, but it was rough. And it was rough on my dad. My dad attended a one-room school up Collins Creek. And I remember he's told me many times when it was time to move and go to Warfield, the big, huge school, how scared he was going up there, not knowing what to think. Well, this is where the history of basketball in my family starts. Because if some of Dad's classmates had not made fun of him, I would not be here. And nobody would probably know the name of Stephen basketball. When my dad went to Warfield, Dad had worked on the farm. He didn't have much time for anything, but they had a ball go. And some of the boys there would get him to come out and try to play during PE. And Dad said, I was the worst one. He was kind of tall, kind of gangly. He never played before, and they were laughing at him. If any of you in here, and some of you do, Shelley Harden, people that this is so much to me, Roger Harless, know my dad. My dad was a tough man. He was big, he was strong, he was powerful, strong voice. Later he was a preacher, but he was also gentle as well. But my dad was driven. He was motivated. And he was not going to let somebody make fun of him. He was not going to let somebody tell him there was something he couldn't do. He actually went back home, got a big old empty cream can, hung it up outside, got old just rags for a ball, and would spend time when he was free just shooting at that. And over a period of time, Dad was naturally strong, farm strong. When I think of farm strong, some of you all know Tom says it. That's farm strong. My dad was a strong man, but my dad was very, really tough. Dad said the next year, the same boys that were laughing at him and when he was playing were the ones at the gym and the bleachers cheering for him while he was playing because he had improved that much. Dad played his first 2 years in high school for Sheldon Clark. Mr. Clark was the principal and he coached. And then he left and became the superintendent of the county schools. And a name a lot of you may be familiar with, Herbert Triplett, became Dad's coach. And Dad thought the world of Mr. Triplett. I've heard him talk so many times about him, and also mention about his young son, who would follow Dad around and the boys around, that Dad thought was going to be a pretty good player one day. His name was Herbie. And anybody knows about the Inez State Championship team in 54 knows it for the triple. But Dad started to get better. And as he started to get better, people would tell my grandpa, his name was James Madison Step, Jimmy, your boy Joe's pretty good. You ought to go watch him play. And people were shocked up to realize Grandpa did not want my dad to play. He was totally against it. He thought it was a waste of time. There was chores that needed done. Dad's the oldest son. Those things have got to be done. And when Dad started wanting to play, Grandpa refused. My grandmother had to beg him. Let him try this. Let him play. And finally, Grandpa ended up saying, all right, I will let him play if he doesn't slack off any of his chores. He does everything that he's supposed to do. His grandpa was home, somebody was gone, some working. When I come back, his stuff better be done. And Dad said there were many times that he would get home late from a game and he was just so tired and he'd get let off at the Warfield School and have to walk home at Collins Street. And his siblings had pitched in and made sure the jobs were done so he could play. I know Dad, that meant a lot to Dad. Well, as Dad got to be a senior, he's about 6'4", he's strong, he's rugged, and people started to come to the gym to watch him play. What ended up happening and started to change my grandfather's perspective was one day a gentleman came to their house and sat down, and I don't remember his name, but he basically told my grandfather he was the coach and cop over at Mayo in Paintsville. Now, at this time, Mayo was like a junior college. They had dorms, they had basketball teams, just like a junior college probably you would think of. That was pretty big then. And he went to the house and told my grandfather, I want Joe, we would like Joe to come to our school. We will give him a dorm and a free place to stay. We will give him books. He can get an education. He can learn a trade. We will feed him. And I know Dad said, Grandpa looked and said, I don't understand. Why are you wanting to do this? He's a growing boy. He eats a lot. Why do you're going to feed him? You're going to educate him? And he doesn't have to pay anything. Grandpa could not just, wow. And he said, the gentleman looked and said, Mr. Steph, your son is one of the best players in the state. We would love him to play basketball for us. And if he plays basketball for us, we will bring him in to do this. So that's what Dad did. He went over there. He was there 2 years. He ended up becoming a welder. He went into that trade. Later on, had his own welding shops and things. Trav was gone some. Later in the late 70s, 80s, came back to the county and worked for HOF at Wolf Creek in the basically in the shop, welding, taking care of the machinery. Is what Dad did. But that was the first time my grandfather saw there was something to this, for the first time. Now, my dad had a younger brother who was about 10, 11 years younger than him, named Orville. As Orville started getting older, Orville actually stayed with my parents' son. They helped take care of them. Again, my grandparents were not financially well off at all. And Dad started working with Orville in basketball. And Orville wasn't as tall as Dad. Dad was about 6'4". Orville was probably about 5'11", 6 foot tall. But Orville was strong, quick, and he could shoot. Left-handed, beautiful shot. And Dad started working with Orville. Well, by the time Orville, as he was in high school, my grandparents moved to the Inez side. They bought property of Coldwater. As soon as you go up Coldwater today, the very first branch, Step Branch, my grandfather's and the grandmother owned most of that property. They moved there. So Orville was living there. Well, Orville went to Inez, All-Stater, his senior year in 1964, which was the year I was born. First team All-Stater, led the state in scoring, signed to go to Marshall University. So Orville goes to Marshall. Now, my grandpa was kind of okay with that, but he had never been to a game. And when Orville was at Marshall, Dad begged him, let's go watch Orville, let's go watch Orville. And finally got him to do it. Finally convinced him to go to a game. So Dad got him in the vehicle. They drove from Inez to Huntington, small roads, got there. I can imagine what my grandfather thought when he walked in that gymnasium probably held, I don't know, 5,000 or so, but probably packed. He'd never seen anything like this. And so Dad takes him to watch this game, watch Oracle play, to show how much things had changed. Dad said that when the game was going, Grandpa's watching it, and then he goes, they need to get Oracle the ball more. He shoots better than those other boys do. And then he would come out. They better put him back. When they take him out, they better put him back in. If they want to win, they better put him back in. So Dad, I think, almost had as much fun watching Grandpa's reaction to this game as actually watching the game itself. But he went from somebody who didn't care about it and didn't think much about it to really suddenly he's an expert. So that was his first experience at a ball game. Now, after him, because my oldest brother Joe Allen. Joe was about 10 during this time. My family, still, we didn't have a lot of money. And Dad set Joe Allen down and he told him, son, you need to get an education. But your mom and I aren't going to be able to afford to send you to college. The only way you're going to go to college is you're going to have to get a degree. And Joe was eager and he was hungry and he showed me, Dad, how to play ball. First thing Dad told him was this, because Dad was 6'4". Joe was kind of tall and slender. First thing he said was, Joe, you've got to learn how to handle the ball. Because you're probably going to be tall. And if you're tall and you can't handle the ball, they'll put you under the cover. If you can handle the ball, you can control the game more as a guard. So he started giving Joe ball handling drills to work on his ball handling. And the dad would go to work and he just left Joe alone. Well, my mom said that Joe would spend, when he wasn't working, he would spend hours doing this. And after a period of time, Dad came home, and a month or so goes by, and Joe goes and asks Dad, Dad, will you watch me dribble? Mom knew what he'd been doing, so, okay, show me what you can do, son. So she said he goes out there with one basketball and starts dribbling left hand, right hand, behind his back, between his legs. He's doing all of this. She said he was getting faster and faster with it. Dad said, Joe, it's pretty good. But you're going to be able to do that now without looking at the basketball. And he said, Daddy, I'm not looking at the basketball. And Dad said, okay, actually, what we'll do, reach in his pocket, pull out a handkerchief. Come here, Joe Allen. Close your eyes, tie the handkerchief around. He said, okay, now do what you just did. So Joe got on the dirt court. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. And then Dad saw, hey, he's picking this up quick. Then it was two basketballs. Two basketballs blind folk, not looking, not seeing, and all of those things. Joe Allen actually did something I'm not seeing anybody else do. Joe Allen got to where he could do 3 basketballs like that. Believe it or not, 3. Now, as Joe got older, gets into high school, I heard you mention Johnny Williams. Johnny Williams was his coach. Joe was playing already as a freshman. He started to grow. He's slender, but he grows. He's about 6'4" and a half my senior year. Joe's 10 years older than me, so I'm 6 years old when Joe starts. Joe was only 16 when he started his senior year. He was young. But I knew when we went to games, and at this time, you all that know my family, we lived in Kermit. My mother grew up in Kermit. She went to Kermit, Dad went to Warfield. And in fact, Mom said the first time she remembered seeing Dad was at a basketball game. Mom was a senior, Dad was a junior. Kermit was playing Warfield, big rivalry game. Kermit's winning, they're up 1 point. Warfield gets the ball on the last play, and she said, some tall guy goes out, catches it, shoots a long shot, the buzzer makes it. And Warfield beats Kermit. That was Dad. That's the first time she ever saw him. A few years later, Dad goes with his uncle to the restaurant. It's called Oscar's Place. Those of you who are older would know what I'm talking about. That was the big hangout for all the kids in Kermit. My grandfather, my mom's side owned that. My mom, Irma, a lot of you may remember her. Dad went in there with his uncle. That's the first time he ever saw Mom. And when he left, he looked at my uncle. He said, that's the girl I'm going to marry one day. And a few years later, that actually happened, and they got married. So for that time, when Joanne was in high school, my grandfather, Darian, who ran the restaurant, died of a heart attack. And my grandmother left, and Mom and Dad decided to run the restaurant. So we moved over there, and we were living at Kermit. So Joe was living at Kermit, but he would walk across the bridge and catch the school bus to Warfield High School. Kermit was begging him to come there. Willie Akers, the coach of Logan, was begging my dad to come and work in Logan for Joe to come there. But Joe wanted to stay at Warfield, and that's where he finished his school at. I remember going to games, and then after games, we'd have all these people dressed up really nice come in after games in suits and things, and we're sitting in the booths. And I'm 5 and 6 years old. I just remember this, but I didn't know why. I later found out that this one here is the assistant coach of North Carolina State. This one here is coach of Virginia. This one here is Mississippi State. This one here is some guy named Joe HOF from UK. I was too young to see what was going on. But what was going on was, I found out later, my brother not only led the state, he averaged 36 points a game as a junior, averaged 34 as a senior, led the state in scoring. Not only was he a first-team All-Stater, I found out later he was picked one of the top 100 players in the country, All-American. And I found out afterwards that he was picked the best ball-handling guard in the nation, and he was 6'4" and averaged 36 points a game to go with it. Then I realized why these coaches were there. And when I'm saying, I'm not talking getting letters. Dean Smith, if any of y'all know that name, North Carolina, sent my mom flowers for Mother's Day. The assistant coach of North Carolina State would come once a week, come into the restaurant, bring a guitar, and play songs for mom while she sang, while she was cooking. He would sing songs, serenade her. It was crazy. Cars. Joe offered cars, Dad offered cars, money. It's unreal what he was offered. I learned later, now I know why. Joe ended up going to Ohio State. A lot of people say, why didn't he go to UK? 1972, Joe graduated, last class at Warfield. Warfield 9 is consolidated, Joe Clark. The coach of Kentucky, Adolph Rupp. They forced him to retire. And Joe didn't know who was going to. Joe Hall and Gil Catlett were the assistants. They recruited Joe hard. But Joe didn't know who was going to be the new head coach. And Ohio State was a top 5 program in the country. It's the largest school in the nation for enrollment. They had a legendary coach named Fred Taylor who had won a championship and had been runner-up 2 other times. And Joe picked Ohio State. And that's where he went to. So Joe goes to Ohio State. Well, Joe leaves. The next one that comes up is my brother Jim. Jimmy goes to Sheldon Clark off from high school. His freshman year, he didn't really get a play because he broke his leg. As a sophomore, he averaged over 20 points a game as a sophomore at Sheldon Clark. The next year, he does a little bit better than that. His senior year, he leads the state in scoring, 32 points a game. Sheldon Clark finishes with a record of 24-4. I still think, Roger, you probably know this better than me, I still think that might be the best winning percentage a Sheldon Clark team's had. They got upset in the regional tournament. They were ranked 8th in the state. Powerful ball club. Jim was first-team All-Stater. Led the team in scoring then. Also, I will say this, and the same as for Joe Allen. Joe Allen was valedictorian at Warfield. Straight-A student. Jim had 1 B in high school. He was salutatorian at Sheldon Clark. He tied with another young lady for salutatorian. My parents always stressed, you want to play ball, you get your grades. You don't get your grades, you don't play. Jim graduated, had a lot of schools after him. He ended up picking George Washington University, which was coached by another name you basketball purists from Eastern Kentucky will know, Bob Talent, from Maytown. Bob played for Adolph Rupp at UK for a year, ended up transferring. He was the coach of George Washington University. Jim goes there, it's in the capital of Washington, D.C. and plays. When Jim finishes, the brother closest to me is my brother Irvin. Irvin's 2.5 years older than me. Irv was a freshman sophomore at Sheldon Clark. When Jim averaged 32 points a game at Sheldon Clark, Irv averaged 19 points a game and shot 65% from the field. Joe Allen graduates and decides to go into teaching and coaching. And he gets contacted by a little school in Pike County called Phelps. And they offer him the coaching job at Phelps. Well, Irv, this is my brother. If I'm going to play, I'd like to play for my brother. So Irv decides to go, wants to go and play for him at Phelps. Irv is going into his junior year. I'm here in the county going into my 7th grade year. And well, I'm just finishing my 7th grade year. Irv goes to Phelps. The citizens of Phelps, if any of you have been to Phelps' gym, they put a trailer in behind the gymnasium. And that was for where we lived. So Joe goes to Phelps, and the commissioner of the KHSAA rules Irv ineligible. He's not eligible to play at Phelps. And my dad talks to the commissioner at the time, and he says, the rule of the time is this. Every student of school age has to attend the same school district. So in other words, for Irv to go to the Phelps School District, I had to go to the Phelps School District. Now, Dad was working at Wolf Creek, and he couldn't move, so Dad actually let Joe have custody of me and Irv. I'm 15, I'm 14, Irv's 16, and Joe is 24. And he gets custody, and then they rule Irv eligible, and we're at Phelps. That's how I ended up at Phelps, and that's when I left Martin County. And I'm at Phelps. Anybody knows basketball knows what my brother Irvin did. His junior year, he broke King Kelly Coleman's scoring average. He averaged 48 points a game. But I tell people what's amazing with that, he averaged 48 points a game and shot 60% from the field doing it. The next year, he's All-State, top player coming back, what's going to happen? The next year, he broke it. Every team we played, their defense was geared to stop him. And no defense could stop him. When Irv was a senior, he had a 36-point game. That was his low. That was his low game. His high was 75. He averaged 53.7 points a game, shot 58% from the field doing it, averaged 10 rebounds, about 5 assists a game. And some people said, well, how did the other kids take this at Phelps? It's amazing. You would be amazed how well we were treated. Phelps hadn't been a winning record in 25 years. When we went to Phelps, they were just so glad. The first game Irv played was junior year. He scored 50 points against a team that had blew them out the year before, and Phelps won. And people were just amazed. And he did it easy. He did it easy. It's crazy watching what happened, what he was able to do. And the consistency he was able to do it with. I've been asked a lot of times, how did he deal with the pressure? How did he deal with the pressure of scoring that? If Irv scored 40 points, that was 13 points below his average. That's like somebody averaging 20 scoring 7. We never talked about it. It's amazing. We never talked about what he did. Joe did a really good job of keeping Irv grounded to what he was doing. And the boys absolutely loved him. If you saw us as a group, and I was a freshman when Irv was in the 8th grade, if you saw us as a group, you would not know which one was Irv instead. Everybody got along. It was you talk about close. It was unreal how close it was. That's why I was able to work the way it did. But Irv was named Mr. Basketball, first team on every poll, All-American. It's unreal what happened. So when I look back at all of this, the name of Steph is synonymous with basketball. And I'd be lying to you if I told you it didn't make me proud. But I'll tell you something else about my dad. My dad and my mom, I told you they said education is what counts. But they would always tell us this, look, remember these 3 things, and this is what I would say to you. 1, you love the Lord with all your heart because he gives you the very breath you got. And anything you do to honor him. Any gifts you have are God-given gifts. You honor him with that. The second thing he told us was you love your family. And I know he told the boys, when you marry, you find you a wife. You love her like there's nobody else on this earth. That's how you love her. That's how you treat her. That's how you respect her. He set that example with my mom for us. And Dad would always tell us, which we never did, but I remember Dad, before we look at us, he'd say, boys, if I ever hear any of you call your mom that old lady, the first thing I can get my hand on is when she's ready to get it.
I don't doubt that.
And he wasn't exaggerating. Now, we must respect your mom if we ever said that. But he let us know, this is your mother. She's the one that brought you into this earth. You respect her. You treat her like she should be treated. And then the third thing he taught us was, you try to treat people the right way. You try to do things the right way. Handle things the right way. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes, but you try your best to do what's right. I think as much as anything, when I talk about the basketball accolades that my family achieved, as I said, it makes me proud. And I know my parents were proud. When my dad, in 99, was here in the county, had a heart attack, which eventually killed him. We were told later when they were flying him to Lexington, one of the last things he was talking about as they were wheeling him on the helicopter was about his family. And I will mention too, I do have one sister. She's the second oldest. She went to graduate from Kerman in '74. In case you wonder, they just started the basketball team in '74. Judy averaged 28 points a game the only year she played. So, I mean, it was something that we were around, we loved, but it wasn't work to us. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. We loved playing together. We didn't play pickup games. Dad would not allow us to come up downtown and play pickup ball. He gave us things to work on. Our competition was each other growing up. And he would give us things to work on to get better, because Dad always said, if you need to be a better shooter, you're not going to develop your shot. Just shoot. You got to do it by yourself. Constant repetition. Dad was trying to say, you all heard the old saying, practice makes perfect? Dad said, that's not true. Dad said, proper practice. He said, if you go practice something the wrong way, you're going to get good at doing the wrong thing. You got to learn it the right way and then perfect practice over and over and over again. Dad did do, people asked me this before, he started with Joe Allen. Dad was a welder. A regulation rim is 18 inches diameter. If you take one down and look at it, it actually is pretty big. 2 basketballs will fit at the same time. Dad took a rim, experimented. He cut it down, different lengths, put it up. He came up with 15 inches. The only rim we ever had, and I think Irv has it today, we had a 15-inch rim, and when we played at home in the summers working on our dirt court, that was all we shot on for 3 months. Nothing else. And I'm not exaggerating. When you go into a gym after shooting on something like that for months, seriously, the rim looked like this. It was like a big wash tub up there. And it was like, something's wrong with the rims. That's the way we took it, but that's all we knew. He actually cut another rim down to 13 inches. And we only shot free throws on it. You really couldn't play on it because, I mean, you couldn't be off hardly any on that go. But we used it to perfect the free throw shooting. So we had 2 rims that we could shoot on. But as much as anything, with my parents, I know they're proud of what we did, and we're sure proud of them. I do think my dad would be as much more proud, and my mom were more proud of the fact they saw all their kids become Christians, give their life to the Lord. And I know that meant more than anything to them. So I just want to say in closing how much it means to me to be here to represent my family. This is an honor that for my dad that I'm truly thankful to receive. And again, to see so many people that just the memories coming back to me are just, my heart's just full right now. And Martin County and state basketball is synonymous with each other. So as I said at the beginning, I'm not going to sit here and say the Step family is the most well-known name in the state. It's the big basketball family. That's not for me to say. I know I'm proud of what my family accomplished. It means a lot to me. But I'd like to think that we've all grown up to be good people and kind of do things right. So have a marvelous. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day, and God bless all of you.
There was you guys there himself. His mother, Irma, was just a wonderful person. Okay, we're going to get on with the inductions. I want you, whoever's representing, we want the inductee to come up, but if the inductee is not here for reasons, come up these steps, everybody is going to be up these steps. My right, your left, and to the right. I know it's terrifying, but we want to hear, you don't have to just speak for a minute or 2 or 30 seconds, it'd be better. But no, we'll come up here if you want to. You don't have to, but you have to come up here and get your plaque. We have a plaque. Exactly, we'll go to the one in the Hall of Fame. We'll give it to us. If you don't come up here, you don't get your plaque. That's an incentive. Okay, our first inductee. And don't come up until I'm done talking. I've got just a couple of paragraphs to read about each inductee. When I'm done, then you can make it away. Or you actually use your spoon. We'll figure it out. Our first inductee is Frank Crum, national champion, 1954. He was born October 18, 1893. Frank Crum was a native and resident of Idaho, and he won the senior division of the National Left-Handed Golf Championship. The tournament was held August 9th through the 12th, 1954 at the Miami Valley Country Club in Dayton, Ohio. He bested Al Douglas of Napa, California for the title. Frank was a member of the National Association of Left-Handed Golfers, or NALG. This group was created in 1936 to emphasize the need for companies to produce equipment for left-handed golfers. The most famous left-handed golfer today is Phil Mickelson. Until the NALG brought attention to this need, most left-handed people played right-handed due to this lack of equipment. During the 1954 NALG Championship Tournament, there were 147 golfers from 27 states. The senior division was for golfers aged 60 or older. The championship was called the NALG Joe Turner Trophy. Frank won many other golf tournaments over the years, including the prestigious West Virginia Amateur Golf Championship at the Greenbrier. Mr. Crum also led 2 years in baseball and 1 year in football for the University of Kentucky, 1915 through 1917. He was an ardent fan of the Inez Indians basketball teams. Whenever they played, you would find Old Pitchin Creek Frank, as he was known to his friends. He volunteered for duty during World War I and achieved the rank of first lieutenant. He worked in the coal mining industry and was superintendent of the Puritan Coal Company of Bell Barton. He was also a teacher for many years at Inez High School. He played baseball for many years in the Coalfield Leagues. He was known as a very good catcher. He was a very good basketball player also. He was called by many the greatest competitor they ever saw. He was a friend of many politicians of the time. He was a member of the United Baptist Church. As a testament to his popularity, his funeral was held at the Inez High School Gymnasium on February 20th, 1963. Frank Crum certainly was a great athlete and loved and respected by many in his day. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee Frank Crum and his three nieces here today. Here are his nieces with John and Miss Brown. Maybe say a little.
I'm Mary Crum Spalding. This is my sister Susan Crum Cox. The most likely niece that you would know would be Dee Phoenix, who's sitting over at the table with our cousins, Mary Lou and AJ. And we just want to thank you. We want you to know that our uncle's been dead for a long time. He was our father's brother, and some of the older people here probably remember him from being a teacher in high school. We really appreciate that he's getting recognition for both his academic successes and his athletic successes. He was quite a remarkable person, we think. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Our next inductee is first team All-State. He's only the second first team All-State player in Sheldon Clark history. John Giles in 2000 was the first. The 6'2" and 250-pound Channing Smith was a 4-year starter and led the Cardinals in tackles for 3 years, exceeding 90 each season. Smith had 54 tackles as a freshman, 91 as a sophomore, 98 as a junior, and 104 as a senior. And he recovered 1 fumble. He played defensive tackle each season and got better every year. His teams were 34 and 17 with 7 playoff victories, including a district title and regional title. His coach, Sean Hager, said every team we played his senior year of 2010 said he was the strongest and best lineman they had played against. He just had a great senior season. Smith bench pressed 410 pounds. He had a 4.185 grade point average and scored 23 on the ACT as a senior. His work ethic was amazing, and he was perhaps the strongest athlete ever at Sheldon Clark. Smith also was honored to make the All-State honorable mention in his junior season in 2009, and is the only 2-time All-State performer in Sheldon Clark football history. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee Channing Smith, football, Sheldon Clark, 2006 to 2001. Channing Smith. All-State in 1946 and 1948. In 1946, he led his team to a 31-8 record in district and 15th region titles. 1947 team was 39-4 with a district title. They were ranked second in the state, but were upset by Wayland in the regional finals, and Russell Williamson's last game as a head coach. The 1948 team was 28-4, ranked 8th in the state, but were again upset, this time by Paintsville in the district semifinals. His varsity teams were 98-16 in his 3 seasons. Clarence was tall and thin, hence the nickname Boney. He was a great rebounder and defender and was said to be unstoppable around the basket. He played college basketball at Pikeville College. He was an all-district and all-region performer at INS High School also several times. Ladies and gentlemen, next inductee, Clarence Boney Mills. Larry Jennings will accept his plaque.
Larry before you. She's your favorite sister coach. What's your favorite sister coach?
Next inductee is Bill Fairchild, basketball, high, 45, 49. One of only 2 men's basketball players to make All-State all 4 seasons. Second team All-State in 1948, honorable mention All-State in 46 and 47, third team All-State in 1949. His 1946 team was 31-8 and 15th region district and 15th region champions. His 47 team was 39-4 with a district title and number 2 ranking. 48 team was 28-4 and 1949 team was 26-7 with a district title and 15th region runner-up and number 8 ranking in the state. His 4-year record at INS High School was 124 and 23. Both he and teammate Arnold Harmon were all-state all 4 years. Bill was extremely quick and agile at center, great shooter, passer, and clutch player. He averaged double figures in scoring all 4 years of high school. He was also all-district and all-region performer several times. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Fairchild. Anyone here for Bill? We'll see that his family gets there. Our next second team All-State inductee, John David Sloan, basketball, Sheldon Park High, 1989 to 1993. John David Sloan accomplished the rare feat in 1993 by being named second team All-State. John David averaged around 20 points per game for his career. He's a great leaper, known for his monstrous slam dunks. He led his team to back-to-back district titles in 21 seasons, his junior and senior years. Sheldon Clark was 15-13 his sophomore year, 20-11 his junior season, 21-10 his senior season. His teams were 56-34 in his 3 seasons as a starter. As we say, he averaged over 20 points, plus 10 rebounds per game his junior and senior seasons. He received scholarship offers from many schools, including almost going to Morehead State, but he signed with Pikeville College and played 1 season before transferring and finishing his career playing 3 seasons at Alice Lloyd College, where he became a member of their Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, John David Sloan, basketball, Sheldon Park High. John David could not be here today. Our next Hall of Fame inductee, Eric Parker, football, Sheldon Clark High School, 1994 to 1996. Eric was a 6'5", 200-pound defensive end. He made life miserable for quarterbacks and opposing linemen in 1995. In 1994, Eric led Sheldon Clark to a 7-5 record and their first ever playoff victory, a 14-7 win over Lawrence County on the road at Lawrence County. They fell in a classic 2 overtime game to a great Whitesburg team, 30-28 the next week. Eric Markham was key in the playoffs by making great defensive stops and chasing the quarterbacks, causing mistakes and rush passes. After the Whitesburg game, their coach was very impressed by Eric's play, and his stock rose. Eric was named the second team All-State after the season, the first Sheldon Clark football player to be named second team All-State. Eric Markham, football, Sheldon Clark High School. Adam Dials, football, Sheldon Clark High School, 2004 to 2008. Adam was a 6 foot, 180-pound force to be reckoned with at running back. He was outstanding with over 1,000 yards in both 2006 and 2007. His senior year, he rushed for almost 1,800 yards and a dozen touchdowns, which caused him to be named third team All-State. His teams were 27-9 his last 3 years with 3 wins in the playoffs. Adam Dials, possibly one of the greatest running backs in Sheldon Clark High School history, if not the greatest. Adam Dials, Sheldon Clark High School, 2004-2008. Adam could not be here. Our next third-team All-State inductee is playing basketball in Germany, so he has a really good excuse. Justin Johnson, basketball, Sheldon Clark, Western Kentucky University, professionally, 2010 to 2012 at Sheldon Clark. Justin was a 6'7" power forward and center. As a freshman, he started and led the Cardinals to a 17-12 record and 52nd district runner-up and 15th region quarterfinals. As a sophomore, he led the Cardinals to a 26-7 record and a 57th district championship and 15th region quarterfinals. He made third-team All-State as a sophomore at Sheldon Clark, averaging more than 10 rebounds and 15 points per game. He left the Coach Spurlock and joined the Perry County Central Commodores his junior and senior seasons. He led Perry County Central to the district title his junior year and 14th region runner-up. He was second-team All-State with Perry Central his junior year. He averaged 21.9 points and 17.6 rebounds per game at Perry Central. He was first-team All-State his senior year with Perry Central. He scored over 2,000 points in his high school career. He had an outstanding basketball career with Western Kentucky University. His sophomore year, he led his team in scoring at 14.9 points per game and 7.9 rebounds. His junior year, he led his team with 14.5 points per game and led the conference with 9.4 rebounds per game. He was second-team All-Conference his junior year. His senior season, he joined the Western football team to play tight end, but returned to basketball during summer camp. He again led the Hilltoppers with 15.7 points per game and repeated his conference rebounding champ with 9.4 per game. He led Western to a 27-11 record. They finished second in the NIT. He was first-team All-Conference USA his senior season. He had 14 double-doubles his senior season. He scored 1,715 points for Western and had 1,058 rebounds and shot 53% from the field. He is fourth all-time at Western in rebounds, third in offensive rebounds with 315, third in games played with 135, seventh in field goal percentage at 53.9. He played professional basketball in Italy during the 2018-19 season for the Dynamo Caligari, averaging 16.7 points and 9 rebounds. In 2019 and 20, he played for Pistoia, Italy, but COVID interrupted the season. In 2022, he played for Reggio Emilia, Italy, and is currently playing in Germany with Reisen Ludwigsburg. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Fame inductee Justin Johnson. Justin is in Germany playing for Racing Ludwigsburg. I know the way the Germans talk, everything's man, everything. And so expect Justin to do different when he comes back. State record holder. Our next inductee is Jesse Watts, football, Sheldon Clark High School. Single game passing yards record, 1990 to 1993, he played for the Cardinals. Jesse threw for 651 yards at the time, a national high school passing record that stood for 21 years until broken by 1 yard. He completed 24 of 38 passes in his team's 61-16 victory over Allen Central at Allen Central High School. The yardage was difficult to figure out due to Allen Central's yard lines being hard to decipher. Jack Ward, who called the game, that's me, on the radio, informed Coach Jim Mackey that he believed Jesse had 651 yards passing. That might be some kind of record. The coaching staff pored over the film and was able to discover that he actually had passed for 651 yards. That sports announcer was really good, wasn't it? Jesse was a great quarterback, leading his team to a 9-2 record that season. They also finished 9'2" in 1992. Despite being small in size, he had toughness and grit and blessed with a great throwing arm. That one special night highlighted a special career at Sheldon Park High School's greatest passing quarterback. After the 1991 season, he was named 5th best Kentucky high school college football quarterback prospect by Kentucky college football coaches. He was incredibly not named All-State in 1991, but did make honorable mention All-State as a quarterback in 1992. He signed with Kentucky State and played there on special teams for a couple of seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, state record holder, passing yardage, and All-State performer Jesse Watt. He looks about the same. Not that he's older. Our next inductee, record holder, Dylan James, basketball, Sheldon Park High School, 3-point record holder, 2010 to 2017, played for the Cardinals in Mercer County. Dylan made an incredible 482 three-pointers in his career, which is the Kentucky high school record, state record, until recently broken by Travis Perry. He played a very rare 7 years on the varsity basketball, beginning as a 6th grader in the 2010-11 season. He scored 2,206 points at Sheldon Park High School and 2,752 for his career. He led Mercer County to a 33-2 season and 46 district and 12 region titles, and was named 3rd team All-State there. He led Sheldon Park to 125 wins and 55 losses his time there, 2 district titles, 1 region runner-up in his 6 years there. He was a great rebounder. He has 9 all-time rebounds in Kentucky high school history with 1,473. He was named All-State Honorable Mention in 2017 for the Cardinals. He had seasons of 22, 21, and 20 points per game. He played for 4 different coaches in his high school career. He received a basketball scholarship and played at UPike for 1 season before transferring to UK with his goal of becoming a coach. Upon graduation, he was on the coaching staff of 2022 state champion George Rogers Clark High School. Ladies and gentlemen, 3-point record holder and All-Stater, Dylan James. Our next category is 2 or more times honorable mention All-State. First one is Arnold Harmon, basketball, Inez High School, 1945 to 1949. He made honorable mention All-State 4 straight seasons, 1946 to 1949. What's the matter with these voters? Could they put him on 3rd team at least once? His 1946 team was 31-8 and 15th region champions. His 1947 team was 39-4 of the district title and ranked 2nd in the state. His 48 team was 28-4, ranked 8th in the state. 1949 team was 26-7 with the district title and 15th region runner-up. His 4-year record was 124-23. Does that record sound familiar? His teammates were Bill Fairchild and Clarence Boney Mills. Both he and Bill Fairchild were All-State all 4 years. He was very quick, he was a clutch player, great defender, he was all-district, all-region also, several times. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Arnold Harmon. The next multiple All-State performer is Gary Meade, basketball, Inez High, 1966 to 1970. Gary accomplished the rare feat of being named All-State honorable mention 3 times from 68 to 69 and 1970. He was a 6'4" center who led the team in scoring for 3 seasons. He was a great mid-range shooter, very smart basketball player. He played his best games against the best centers. He had a career high of 44 points against All-State center Gary Waddell of Lexington Lafayette. Gary led Inez to 3 straight winning seasons and 1 trip to the regional tournament in 1969. Inez had a 65-47 record in his 4 years there. He was also All-District Tournament twice. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Gary Meade. Gary's not here. Where do I find him? Our next multiple All-State winner is Gene Kane, basketball, Inez High, 1945 to 1949. 2-time honorable mention All-State in 46 and 48. He was one of 4 Inez players who made All-State in 1946 and one of 3 in 1948. He was a good shooting guard, great ball handler, and defender. He was All-District, All-Region performer several times. He gave his team what they needed each night to win. If they needed points, he would get them. If they needed rebounds, he would get them. If they needed a turnover, he would cause it. If they needed a great pass, he would make it. He was a consummate team player. Inez had a 124-23 record in his 4 years and was ranked number 2 in 1947 and number 8 in 1948. Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Kane. Basketball, Sheldon Clark High, 1974 and 1976. Dana was All-State honorable mention in 1975 and 77. She was part of the first girls team at Sheldon Clark High that also had 5 All-State players. She played on 3 regional title teams. She played on 3 district championship teams. She was All-District, All-Region several times. She was also a high school All-American. She was a great shooter, especially from the wing. If they had a 3-point shot, she would have been more amazing. She was cool under pressure. She wasn't very big, but had the heart of the line. The Lady Cards, or Cardinalettes, as they were called then, were 74 and 6 in her 3 seasons. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Dina Booth.
District tournament, and my grandmother couldn't get out and go to the game, so her second option was to listen to it on the radio. But there was a minute and something left on the clock, and they switched that game, our game, to the Kentucky Wildcat game. There was 1 minute to go in the game, and we came back and we won by 4 points. Now, I've got 1 more game that's memorable to me. I played my heart out in the state. I played just as hard as I could play. We ended up getting beat by 2 points. But Brenda Priest and I were big buddies. We would get out on the playground and play with them boys. We had to be just rough and tough as they were. They would pick me first, and then they picked Brenda. And Brenda and I had plays made up. I throw the ball in rounds, then Brenda would turn around and throw it back to me, and I'd shoot and make it. So, anyway, thank you so much for supporting the Cardinal Lakes if you ever got to see us. You know, I just can't say enough about the fun that we had. One more thing, Mr. Hayne, it was Thanksgiving time. Mr. Haney had all us girls lined up on the baseline, and we were trying to figure out what he was wanting us to do. He had us squat down and act like turtles. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Our next inductee is Debbie McCoy, basketball star. 1974 and 1976. Debbie was also on the nation. 1975 and 76, she was a member of the first Sherman Park girls team. 1975, 5 All-State players. She was a Cardinal point guard, having 12 points and over 5 assists per game in her career. She was a great shooter also, and finished the fast break. She was a tough defender. She was all district and all region in 75 and 76. She was a vital part of 2 district and 2 15th region titles. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Debbie McCoy.
Sometimes these girls basketball teams are so few in school.
The next inductee is Rhythm Reese Collins, basketball, Sherman Park High, 1974 and 1977. Brother All-State honorable mention, 1975 and 77. She was the first grade center for the Lady Lions. She was a rugged rebounder who was adept to get the ball out of the fast break. She was a walker defender who set charge picks for her guards. She didn't score much, but she had some big putbacks on the offensive glass. She was the emotional leader of those great Lady Cards teams. Her teams were 74 and 6 in her 3 years with 3 district and 3 15th region titles. Brenda Reese Collins. All-State. Our next inductee, Betty Crum, basketball, Sherman Park High, 1979 and 1982. Betty was a first-name forward in 1982 and 1983. She was a friendly player who scored attractive.
Way go, Brenda!
She was a great defender also. Betty was fearless, passionate player. Her teams won 4 straight 57th region titles and 2 15th region titles and 1 15th region runner-up, winning 105 and losing only 36 during her time. She played for 3 coaches in her 4 seasons. She played with fellow multiple All-Staters, Lori Ann Mills and Angie Fields, which made a fearsome threesome during their years there. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Betty Crum. Our next inductee is Angie Fields, basketball, Sherman Park, 1978 to 1982. Angie was an all-state point guard in 1981 and 1982. She was a true point guard who could score on the break and shoot from any angle, and harass other teams' point guards, which resulted in many steals and layups. Her teams won 4 straight district titles and one 15th region title, and were twice 15th region runner-up. Her teams were 92 and 41 in her 4 years. She played for her dad, former Warfield basketball great Dorsey Fields, for her senior season. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Angie Fields. Our next multiple All-State performer is Teddy Duncan, basketball, Shelby High, 1980. Teddy was a 6'6" fellow in the All-State competition in 1983 and 1984. Teddy was one of the first and only Shelby High regional champ and state tournament team in 1983. He was a consistent scorer down low with a mid-range game that complemented the inside scoring of Jimmy Dale Turner and outside shooting of John Kerr. He averaged 11 points and 8 rebounds as a sophomore, 16 points and 8 rebounds as a junior, 22 points and 10 rebounds as a senior. He made all-district and all-region in 1983. He was Williams and Daily News All-Area Team in 1984. In the summer of 1983, he was named one of the top 25 players in Kentucky by the Cats Balls. He was named All-Tournament in the National Invitational in 1983. His teams were 72 and 46 with 2 district and 1 15th region title. Ladies and gentlemen, Teddy Duncan, All-State. Our next multiple All-Stater is Larry James, basketball, Sheldon Clark High, 1984 to 1988. Larry was a 6'6", 2-time honorable mention All-State center for the Cardinals in 87 and 88. He led the Cardinals in scoring and rebounding both seasons. He averaged almost 20 points and 10 rebounds per game. He scored almost 1,500 points in his varsity career and had over 1,000 rebounds. He was all-district his junior and senior season. He was first team all-area his senior season. His Cardinals in 1988 came within 1 point of winning the regional championship before losing to Phelps. Came within 1 game of winning the regional championship before losing to Phelps. His teams were 57 and 55 with a district and regional runner-up in 1988. Once he caught the ball in the post, he was almost impossible to contain. He is the father of Hall of Famer Dylan James and future Hall of Famer Trey James. He has served as a teacher, coach, assistant coach, principal, assistant superintendent, and now superintendent of Martin County Schools. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry James. Our next Hall of Fame inductee and All-Stater, Candace Porter, basketball, Sheldon Clark High, 2008-2013. Candace was an All-State honorable mention center for the Lady Cards in 2012 and 13. Candace was a high-scoring center and was a leading rebounder for Lady Cards for 3 of those seasons, averaging a double-double in points and rebounds almost every night. She was very mobile and versatile for the center position and could operate anywhere on the court. She led the Lady Cards to 98 wins, 46 losses, and 2 57 district titles, and 1 15th region championship. She teamed with Caitlin Newsom to make a formidable inside-outside threat each night. Ladies and gentlemen, All-Stater Candace Porter. Next inductee is Joe Stitt, basketball, Warfield High, 1927-51. Joe is a 6'4", 2-time honorable mention All-State forward center for the Warfield Red Devils in 1950-51. He led the Warfield to 52 wins, 57 losses in his 4 seasons there. Joe averaged over 25 points and 15 rebounds per game, and he practically carried the load by himself in those days. He was unusually strong and mature for his age, along with great athleticism. He was the first of the basketball royalty of the Stitt family. He was the uncle of Martin County Sports Hall of Famer Orville Stitt, the father honor of Hall of Famer Joe Allenstead, Jimmy Stepp, Kentucky's all-time leading scorer, KHS AA Hall of Famer Irvin Stepp. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Stepp, on stage. Next, we have a father-son duo. Next inductee is Carl Simmons, basketball. Carl was a 6'4" forward. He became honorable mention All-State in 1969. He averaged scoring double figures and rebounding his junior and senior seasons. He was a smooth player who never seemed to be in a hurry and made it look easy. Warfield was district runner-up his freshman season, district semifinals, and his sophomore season. Warfield was 80-4 and 52 in his 4 years there. He was ranked by Sports Illustrated as one of the top 300 high school players in the nation before his senior year. He once scored 31 points and had 26 rebounds against Johns Creek. He had 17 points and then a school record 35 rebounds against Belfry until Clay Maynard broke it the next year. He suffered a knee injury, or 2 years later. He suffered a knee injury that derailed his plans to play college basketball. His son is Martin County Hall of Famer Jason Evans. Ladies and gentlemen, Carlos Evans, also. The next inductee is Jason Evans, basketball, Sheldon Clark, 1991 to 1995. Jason was a 6'6" power forward. The Cardinals had a record of 16-8 his senior year. He wasn't a starter until his junior and senior seasons. Given the opportunity, he blossomed with 2 outstanding seasons. He was the Williamson Daily News All-Area, All-Mountain Senior Team, 57 District All-Tournament, First Team Academic All-State, and Mid-East All-Star Team in 1995. His outstanding scoring, rebounding, and defense earned him rare back-to-back honorable mention All-State honors in 1994 and 1995. He's the son of Hall of Famer Carlos Evans. He's an optometrist now in IMAX. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Evans. Next, our honorable mention All-State is on the college scholarship. Our first inductee is Donna Maynard, basketball, Sheldon Clark, U-Pike, 1984 to 1988. Donna was a smooth shooting forward at Sheldon Clark High School. She was relentless in her drive to perform to a high standard. She was a very good defender. She was named All-State honorable mention in 1988, led the team to district titles in 85, and 87, and district runner-up in 1986 and 1988, and region runner-up in 1985. She played her best when it was tournament time. Her teams were 58-50, and she signed a scholarship and played basketball at Pikeville College. Ladies and gentlemen, Donna Maynard. She's one of the best. Our next inductee is John Crum, basketball, Mason Marshall University, 1947-1981. John Crum was a 6'4" forward. He was the first under the basket. He was given rebounding his junior and senior seasons. He didn't get to start until his junior season because INS had so many great players in the late 40s. But when he got his chance, he joined them in All-State honors. He and Johnny Williams led INS to 2 district titles, 2 15-3 runner-up trophies, and a 48-20 record his junior and senior seasons. He was good enough to receive a scholarship to play at Marshall University. Ladies and gentlemen, John Crum.
This is Jacksonville, for me to speak. I just want to say that Adam's not only a great basketball player, but also a great person. Our lives, every one of us here, our lives intertwine in so many different ways. My granddad's house burned in 1953. 54 was the start of the INS Fire Department by my granddad. The water company was started didn't have back then. Also, the big city here, my dad was instrumental in getting that. So, you know, we have connected. I no longer live in Inez, but Inez will always be my home. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Our next inductee is Leslie Moore, basketball, Jimmy Thornton, 63 to 67. Les was a sharpshooting guard. His teams were 73 and 44 his 4 years there. His sophomore, junior, and senior years were three of Warfield's best ever, going 19 and 15, 26 and 8, and 17 and 8 respectively. They were 59th district runner-up his sophomore season as they lost in the district finals to a very tough 1859th district. They made it to the region semifinals that season. His junior year was maybe Warfield's best team ever with All-State Mitchell Moore, sophomore Ken Maynard, and junior Les Moore. They finished 26 and 8 and were again district runner-up. They lost to 15th region champion McDowell in the first game of the regional tournament, 70 to 62. The 1966-67 team was his senior season, and led by a great season from Les and junior Ken Maynard, who finished with a 17 and 8 record. He was all-district 3 times and all-region. After his senior year, he was honored as an all-state honorable mention selection. He received a basketball scholarship to Virginia Commonwealth, where he played with Hall of Famer Odell Back. Ladies and gentlemen, Leslie Moore. Our next inductee is Ken Maynard, basketball, Warfield High, Berea College, 1964-1968. Ken Maynard was a high-leaping guard and great scorer for Warfield from 1965 to 68. He was part of Warfield's best teams during those years there. They were 62 and 31 with 2 district runner-up and a region Final Four his freshman, sophomore, and junior seasons. His senior year left him as the only returning reliable scorer, and Warfield finished 12 and 20 with Ken averaging over 20 points, well over 20 points per game. He was all-district twice. After the season, he garnered all-state honorable mention honors and went on to play college basketball at Berea, where he was a very, very good player at Berea College. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Maynard. Dwayne said the black for Ken Maynard. Our next inductee is John Kirk, basketball, Sheldon Clark, Georgetown College, 1979 to 1983. John Kirk, or John as he was called back then, was a 6'1" sharpshooting guard for Sheldon Clark's only 15th region champion in 1983. He was part of 2 district champions in 81 and 83. He was all-district and all-region in 1983. His teams were 69 and 56 in his 4 seasons. He led the Cardinals in scoring in their win over Taylor County in the 1983 state tournament. They lost by only 4 to third-ranked Mail in the quarterfinals the next night. He was named honorable mention All-State after the season. He was a great baseball player also. He was a leadoff hitter and pitcher for the 1983 baseball team for Sheldon Clark that went 25 and 2, known for his great off-speed and breaking pitches. He had great foot speed with over 60 steals in his career. He pitched 3 no-hitters and had an ERA of under 2. He was 7-0 as a senior with an ERA of 0.76 and 2 no-hitters. He received a basketball scholarship to Georgetown College. He currently is an attorney with his father, John Kirk, at his law office. Ladies and gentlemen, John Kirk. Received his blood. Our next inductee is Jimmy Dale Turner, basketball, Sheldon Clark, Georgetown College, 1982-1983. Jimmy Dale was a 16 transfer from Nevada senior year. The 16 from the big league next to the Cardinal team, and already has 6'6" and 6'5" players on the front line. He led the Cardinals to a 29-6 record, 57 district title, and only ever 15th region crown. They beat Taylor County 81-65 in the state tournament before falling to third-ranked Louisville Mail. He was named honorable mention All-State after the season in basketball. He was a great baseball player too. He led the Cardinals baseball to 25-2 record. He did not lose a game on the mound and pitched 2 no-hitters and had an ERA of 0.60. He was signed by the Atlanta Braves as a pitcher and received a basketball scholarship to Georgetown College. He pitched 3 years in the Braves organization. Sadly, Jimmy Dale passed away of cancer in his 40s. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Dale Turner.
I know y'all probably rather hear me than sound off listening. His daughter right there, his wife is sitting right back there. We miss him very much. And for those of you that knew him, his baseball, his basketball, he was quiet and humble, and they are the exact example of him right there. Quiet and humble.
The next inductee is Randy Bowman, baseball, Shelton Clark, Mercer University, 1984. Randy's the first Cardinal baseball player to receive a D1 scholarship. He played 1 season at Mercer University before deciding to attend the State Police Academy, where he served as a state trooper for 21 years. Randy was a left-handed batting catcher and first baseman who batted .514 in 1983, .435 as a senior. He was a vital part of Shelton Clark's greatest baseball team ever that went 25-2 his junior year. He set a school record for hits and batting average in the season at the time. He was a all-57 district tournament in 1984, going 2 for 3 off future major leader Billy Blair. He also was part of the Cardinal football program, was on the first team in 1981, on the 9-2 team in 1982, as a skinny 20. He got his first collegiate base hit against the University of Florida. He played at Mercer for legendary coach Mary Myers. Coach Myers is from Huntington and was going home and saw a baseball game at Johnson Central, stopped by and liked what he saw in Sheldon Clark's Randy Bowman that day. He was roommates at Mercer with Martin County Hall of Famer Brian Maynard. Randy was one of only 2 players to be an assistant coach and head coach. He was head baseball coach at Sheldon Clark for 1 season in 2016, taking a young team and surprising everyone going to the 15th region tournament for the first time since 2005 with a record of 16-16. Now Randy is a gospel and bluegrass songwriter with over 200 compositions, and a couple of his songs have been recorded by other artists. He has 2 children. Tanner graduated from the University of Pennsylvania Wharton School of Business and is currently at Harvard Law School. His daughter Tracy graduated from Center College with a degree in chemistry, and has a chemical engineering degree from UK and is employed by Marathon Oil as a chemical engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Bowen.
Looking through the itinerary of those that have been now inducted into the Hall of Fame for Martin County, the All Sports, I see a total of 93 names. There are only 3 of us that represent the sport of baseball. So I'm very, very honored to be a part of that. It's even more of an illustrious crowd, I would think. My first year playing baseball was Little League, and Warfielders playing for Warfield. They had enough players that year to have 2 teams. They had an A team, which was the select and the best group of players. And they had a B team, which was those that was left over. Didn't want to cut them, so they wanted to go ahead and let them play. I made the B team my first year in Little League. My twin sister, Patricia, made the A team. So just so you know, don't give up when you're young to start. Also, I want to say one more other thing. I owe a lot to being a member of the baseball team here. I think it's done more for me than I could have ever done for it. Because it set in line a path of things for my life that has controlled everything I've done. I started my first year as a freshman. There were two young rookie coaches who were also rookie state troopers at the time. The name of Scott Woodard and Dave Wallace. They, through the course of my 4 years and their assistant coaches, kept pushing me to become a state trooper. When my baseball time was over, I decided that was the perfect path for me. That path led me to Lawrence County, where I met my beautiful wife now next month of 29 years. She's the director of HUD Housing. Gentleman mentioned my two children. My oldest son, Tanner, graduated from the University of Pennsylvania, worked the School of Business in math and economics. I'm no good at that, but he is. But he's soon to embark on his final year at Harvard University Law School in economics and corporate law. My youngest son, Trace, played baseball at Center College, where he got a degree in chemistry. He finished up at UK with a degree in chemical engineering, and now he is a chemical engineer for Marathon in their corporate office in Findlay, Ohio. So I'm very proud. That is my legacy, not what I've done here. One other person I want to mention is Roger Harris. If he's not in this Hall of Fame, and I don't know what the criteria is, but this Hall of Fame is not complete. As a sophomore, he started coaching, and he had already been in athletics in Martin County for a decade with the Van coaching high school basketball. But I mentioned the fact that there's only 3 of us from baseball in the Hall of Fame. It's because for some reason it's always kind of been overlooked. Coach Harless changed that during his time there. Our junior year had been mentioned about with John Kirk, Jimmy Dale Turner, and some of the others. Lost our first game, lost our last one, 25 in between. We were nationally ranked 16th in the country at one time during that season. It was because of Coach Harless' dedication. He drove me and Brian Sloan around our senior year to every college we wanted to go to. Sent out letters of recommendation for us to be recruited. He got a lot of those letters back. He never got a penny out of it, never got anything for his time. But he did it. And still he is here today, the Board of Education, and also with this Hall of Fame. I've always wanted to take the time to thank him publicly. Sir, God bless you. I thank you.
Roger, walk over there and have your picture made with me.
It's been a long day. There's only one other Hall of Fame that I'm hoping to achieve. And when my time here is done, I hope my Lord and Savior finds that I'm acceptable to enter into the great Hall of Fame. Thank you all very much.
Amen.
Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Our next inductee is Chase Parsley, Sheldon Clark, basketball, 2011-2015. Chase was a 2015 honorable mention player. Chase at only 5'9", was a sharpshooting guard. He played 5 years at SCHS. He averaged 23.9 points per game in senior season. He led the Cardinals in assists for 4 seasons. He might be Sheldon Clark's all-time leader in assists. His teams are some of the winningest teams in Sheldon Clark history. They won 106 and lost only 43 with 2 district titles and a region Final Four and region runner-up. He received a scholarship at Dupac and played 4 years, providing a smart off the bench and a casual start, scoring almost 8 points per game. He's now an educator and coach. After serving as an assistant basketball coach at Martin County High School for 3 years, he just finished his 2nd season as head coach at Prestonsburg High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Chase Parsley. We've only got 39 left to go. Oh, sorry, that's my age. Sorry. Our next inductee, Todd Klein, Sheldon Clark, Liberty University, basketball, 1985 and 1986. Warren Todd Klein was a transfer from Williamson High School and played 1 season for Sheldon Clark. He averaged over 20 points per game. Despite being 6'9", was a great shooter and ball handler. His team went 13-14. He was selected honorable mention All-State after the season. He attended Fort Union Military Academy after high school. He then received a scholarship to Liberty University, where he played 1 season and averaged 10.7 points and 5.8 rebounds. A back injury ended his college career. His older brother Mark played college basketball at Wake Forest, as did his father Herbert Klein and Uncle Jack Klein. Todd sadly passed away from a sudden illness in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Klein. Our next inductee is Tom Sitzer, Sheldon Clark, high school, 1983-1986. Tom was a 6'5" power forward known for his ability to score down low, his physicality, defense, and rebounding. Probably one of the strongest basketball players ever at Sheldon Clark. His Cardinals were 50 and 27 in his 3 years as a starter, but had no luck in the postseason. He signed a scholarship to Alice Floyd and played 4 years there and had a solid career as a starter and legendary rebounder. He became a teacher and elementary coach. He was named All-State Honorable Mention in 1986. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Setzer, All-State. Our next inductee is Keith Hill, Sheldon Clark, youth basketball, 1985 to 1989. Keith was a 6'7" center for the Cardinals. He had 2 50-point scoring games in his career. He tallied 50 points against Tuck Valley and set the school record with 54 points later against Wheelwright. His teams were 52 and 62, despite a losing record of 16 and 17. In 1988, he led his team to a district runner-up and to the 15th region championship, losing to Phelps 74-63. As a senior in 1989, he averaged 27 points and 8 rebounds per game. He was named Honorable Mention All-State after the season. He was able to score despite sagging defenses and double teams and triple teams. He was nominated for a McDonald's All-American as a senior. He was All-District Tournament his junior and senior seasons, and All-Regional Tournament his junior year. He received a scholarship to Pikeville College and played 1 year. He became an educator and superintendent of schools in Barron County, Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Hale. Next inductee is Ethan Osborne, Sheldon Clark, Alice Floyd, baseball, 2012 to 2017. Ethan is the youngest Sheldon Clark baseball player to be named All-State. Sadly, Randy and some of the other guys, the state of Kentucky just started All-State teams in 2012. He was named All-State Honorable Mention after his junior season in 2016. Ethan played 2 sports, both basketball and baseball at Sheldon Clark for 5 years, and also 1 year football. He excelled, though, on the baseball mound. He was 2-11 as an 8th grader with a no-hitter in the district tournament. He was 7-3 as a freshman, 8-5 as a sophomore, and won the All-A regional title with a win against Allen Central. He was 11-3 as a junior and hit .486. He was 9-2 as a senior with a perfect game against Betsy Lane. He had .524 as a senior. He had a career record of 37-24 with over 400 strikeouts. He has more shutouts and more strikeouts than any other Sheldon Clark pitcher. He was all-district twice. He was known for pinpoint control. He was a solid hitter, batting over 400 for his career. He played basketball for 5 seasons, and also he played at Alice Floyd College, where he played baseball for 3 seasons before a shoulder injury forced him to play first base only. Great player, great person, Ethan Osborne. That concludes our inductees. We have a tired group out there today. Don't forget, we're going to close in prayer. Is the food already gone? Is there some over there? Take what you want home. Okay. Don't forget the Hall of Fame. Hall of Flame, yeah. The Hall of Fame is on the 2nd floor. Take the elevator down the hall. Go up to the 2nd floor. That's number 2. And you'll see the display. It's right off the elevator. Can't miss it. We want to thank you all for coming today. We want to thank you for allowing us to honor these people. In November, we're going to have our final induction of the first round. You know, Martin County had 136 all-staters and champions. Okay. All of you inductees, the newspaper wants a picture of all of you. Where do you want it? Right here down front. You guys make your way down front. Let's stand. We had 136 hall